Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today we're at day 8 of 30 Days Deeper. We're going to be speaking on the topic of forgiveness. Let's get
Gotta
into
be
it.
honest that we're not this or that. I'm this and that. You think you are that? I quite literally am.
Let's get into it. So, the other day I saw some old videos, pictures pop up, and it was it brought back a lot of memories for me because it showed a time in my life where I had some friends, I had a few extra people in my life, and when I saw that, I felt a little bit sad because life happened and people move on and we move on, and we realize that every friend that we think would be a lifetime friend becomes a seasonal friend, and sometimes you make decisions that affects these friendships as well. And I felt a little bit bad because you know you kind of remember how things were, and you know your part that you played, but also the parts that other people played, and it led me to a place where I had to be like, okay, I'm going to have to be willing to forgive myself again for the part that I had to play in this thing. Now, something I realized is that a lot of us, we hold on to the parts of ourselves that wasn't so ideal, and we we kind of we beat ourselves up and we tear ourselves down for it because you're like, you should have known better. You were so stupid. How could you have done that? How could this have made any sense? And I feel like, as important as it is to forgive yourself, sorry, as important as it is to forgive other people, because we preach all the time that we have to forgive. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it is for ourselves. And forgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And of course it has its place. Forgiving other people is absolutely the right way to go. It has its place, but I don't think we talk about forgiving ourselves often, because sometimes we don't see that we need to let ourselves go. A part of forgiveness is not just for the other person, it's for ourselves. And there are times when we make mistakes that are less than ideal. We've made mistakes that we thought that we should have known better. We've made mistakes that we thought that how could we really have being so stupid. How could we have let this happen? How did we get here? How did we get to a point where we're like, this decision or this thing that we did made sense? And over time, the devil will have us, or the enemy will have us using these scenarios and these ploys to keep ourselves in a state of stuckness and isolation, and feeling like we're unworthy and undeserving of moving on and moving further. And I feel like it's an absolute lie. Why? Because you have to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, you did wrong, I did wrong. I had my part to play in this scenario or this situation. I was not my best self when it came on to whatever happened here, but I was learning. I got a little bit sidetracked, I got distracted, I was wrong, and you have to acknowledge your part in it. I was wrong. I had a part to play and I was wrong. I had a part to play and I made a mistake. I had a part to play. I had a decision to make and I made the wrong decisions. And in this life, we have to be okay with that we did make the wrong decisions. But to dwell on the fact that we made the wrong decisions will cause us to be stuck in a place where God does not want us. Now, how do we move past the unforgiveness that we have for ourselves? We have to go to God, first and foremost, God, and repent. I'm sorry, God, for this thing that I did that you clearly told me not to do, or I had I thought I knew better and I didn't, or you gave me an instruction, I didn't follow it, or I saw the signs, you were giving me clear signs and I just did not want to see it. And I am sorry for being disobedient. I'm sorry for what role I had to play in this. I'm sorry for the hurt I may have caused others. Lord, forgive me. Forgive me for my role, my hand that I played in this situation. And then, on top of asking God for forgiveness, you now have to daily forgive yourself. And you say, Self, I'm sorry for this decision that I made. And it wasn't a right decision, but I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Now, I'm going to tell you, you can't do it one time and expect results. There's a part of you that every time a scenario comes up, every time this person comes up, every time you think about this thing, you feel like a burden within yourself, you feel bad about yourself again. Whenever you feel that, you literally have to stop and be like, God, I forgive myself. And something I learned the other day was that you can't keep holding on to the things that God forgave you for, and like you can't keep bringing it back to him because it's like slapping him in his face. It's like every time you bring up back the same thing over and over again that he's already forgiven you for, it's like slapping him in his face. Why do we want to keep slapping God in his face? Like, why do we want to keep slapping God in his face? No, why would we want to do that? God has already forgiven us. He's already proven his love and his kindness for us. He's already redeemed us, and he's already paid the price for all of those things. He already knew these things. So the fact that you chose to repent and chose to give it to God, believe that you are redeemed. Believe that you are made whole. Believe that you are the righteousness of God. Believe that He has forgiven you. Believe that He has called you according to His purpose, and walk in it and keep walking in it. And whenever the thoughts come back to attack you and that feeling of worthlessness and sunkenness comes back to attack you, you have to say, no, I am redeemed. I am restored. God has already restored me. And yes, I may have been disobedient in that moment, but I have learned and I have forgiven myself and I am forgiving myself. And you move on. But don't dwell there. Don't dwell in the lowliness. Don't dwell in defeat. Don't dwell in this cycle of self doubt and feeling like you're unworthy of um, doing things or getting things. You are worthy. God has redeemed you and restored you. Now, if you have to make things right, make things right. Do not forgive. Do not just pray to God. I say, all right, God. But if God releases you to make things right, do your best to make things right. And granted, whatever the scenario may be, it might be different for other people, so you might not get to, you know, do it as extensive as you want. And other people may not forgive you, but that's okay. That is absolutely okay. But try your best to make things right and do not hold on to the things that you absolutely cannot. You can't control. You are redeemed. You are the righteousness of God. You are called according to His purpose. So forgive yourself. and walk in that forgiveness. Bye, guys.